Hands between Afreeca Freaks and KT Rolster here in our first game of match 2. Should be pretty great if the players load into the lobby. But there we go, Lulu ban, okay.
All right, so Afreeca not wanting to pick up first pick Lulu, and considering Mickey's champion pool, he is overwhelmingly an assassin player. We've seen so many bans of TF, which we're going to see here in Zed against this guy in the past, is already also a force to be reckoned with. And this is a great meta for Mickey. These are all very viable picks at the current time.
It really is. I mean, we saw Faker hover over that Zed, but Mickey, I would say, is pretty likely going to pick it if you leave it open for him.
Yeah, there's the Zed ban. I'm actually surprised that KT would ban out TF, just because Fly has always been a great TF player himself, and it was one of the Jin Air Stealth's more dominant picks in 2014.
You wouldn't worry about it really being a first pick by the Freaks either.
No, you wouldn't.
Interesting.
So banning it on red side's a little weird, but it's okay. Apparently Fly has more tricks up his sleeve. GP, and the last ban will be Rise. Seeing a lot of the same bans.
All mid lane bans so far. Well, arguably GP could be up at the top, but
yeah, Lulu could be too.
I suppose.
Depending on how you want it. And so
Rise
could Rise.
All right, never mind. Forget everything I just said. We're
just a lot of flex bans. And that's going to be Thresh. Snowflower, a Thresh specialist, and in the first season that we saw Anarchy play, we saw a lot of mid lane roams for Snowflower, and if Anarchy was going to win games, it was often because Snowflower would walk into the mid lane and feed Mickey with Thresh.
It's true. What's the first pick going to be, though? Some strong picks out there. Tom Kench, of course, MF available, Lissandra available, and that's going to be the first pick for Afreeca Freaks.
Yeah, it's difficult to say where this is going to go. I guess it's going to Ixu, but we'll have to wait and see. Ixu playing a lot of Hecarim in his first season. Not as viable of a pick these days. Still usable, but not exactly top tier. And Arrow could be going for a very early Lucian grab here. MF up, Ezreal up. We haven't seen any Ezreal yet, despite no bans or picks in the first two games, I should say, of our first series of the day. And now
that's a good point. Ezreal's really strong right now.
Fiora, much better, I think, first pick right here.
Fiora and Elise, the picks there.
So Score going with a crowd control jungler. Typically that's been Score's area of expertise, but in this current meta, KT's very interesting because Score, of course, is an old AD carry player, so when we have champions available like Kindred and Graves to play, you would think you would be pretty damn good on some of these ranged AD junglers.
Well, I would love to see some Graves jungle. Don't think we're going to see any Quinn. Got a little bit of a nerf.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. But Kalista, Rek'Sai would not be too surprising. Mickey on Fizz also would not be too surprising.
Yeah, probably
this is going to be surprising.
You're probably not going to blind pick the Fizz, though. So Lyra, long a Gragas expert, and the Alistar, a likely first pick when you want to flex that Lissandra and have perhaps less tanky solo lanes. Could go for the Bard here.
All right, the Bard pickup. Nice.
So Bard Kalista.
Yep.
Next round of the draft.
What do you think about a champion like Braum right now? Certainly fits into the tanky meta, I suppose, but
you're not really going to be blocking much, though.
That's the thing.
That's showing right now from Afreeca, and you're going to take AD support here because, especially when you're playing against Mickey, you don't want him to get a counter pick because he is so mechanically talented.
Yeah. Now Lucian locked in for Arrow.
So LeBlanc, another Mickey specialty, and I would assume that is actually going to be his blind pick in the next round of the draft, unless he has something new prepared.
Well, maybe we'll see some Shaco at some point in the future, but but not right now. I don't know about this Braum. I mean, Lucian Braum is a classic.
Yeah, it's very strong lane. Also, okay,
ooh,
Shen.
Shen, okay.
So Shen support.
Yeah, still around, still good.
Stacking up on some of these globals.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen Mickey in a while, but LeBlanc would be the most likely pick for him based on the information that we have from his play in previous seasons, but could go for a Victor. He did try and branch out into non-assassins later on in Champion Summer to mixed success.
Now, Lyra's Rek'Sai was pretty decent.
Yeah.
If you're going to pick a champion that you're going to feel comfortable putting Lyra on, Rek'Sai is definitely going to be one of them. And there is a LeBlanc pick for Mickey.
Not really a surprise. It's a Mickey pick. It's a good blind pick.
Yep.
And that could lead to Fly trying to run with a Kassadin in the mid lane, able to efficiently trade with the help of the magic shield on his Q.
But will he sing while he's doing it? That's the question.
Is known for singing on stream. This is true.
He's got a lovely voice. Victor.
We saw this matchup last game.
Yeah, we did.
Power transfer able to provide enough of a shield to deal with LeBlanc's burst, especially if you go for that earlier Abyssal Scepter. But having that Kassadin and the roam potential it brings and the ability to easily play with teleport, I think would be pretty valuable. Kind of flipping back and forth right here. Could set up a strong 1-3-1 with the Kassadin and the Fiora.
Would you say that Victor is a bit safer pick, though? Oh, wow, Lux would be cool.
Whoa!
Whoa! All right, it is cool. Lux taken by Fly.
Wow, into LeBlanc, too. Does have the shield. There have been a lot of players saying that Lux is strong with Frost Queen's claim because you could provide a lot of slow for your team and set up your laser.
Yeah, that's true. And you can also escape ganks a bit better, which is something Lux always had an issue doing.
Yeah. It's really hard to play Lux unless you have a counter pick, though, because she can get wrecked by a lot of all-in assassin mid laners. So this is pretty much a red side strategy. I mean, I'm sure many of you know that if trying to play Lux against Fizz is a nightmare.
I mean, the other part of it, too, is that, of course, you know, with Thunderlords, you just have that much more burst out of your combo, which
That's
is making,
absolutely right.
making champions like Lux and Vel'Koz as well come back a little bit more than we've seen in the past.
Very interesting. This is the first time we're going to have Lux in quite some time. Frozen, of course, probably the last one to play Lux.
Yeah, probably. I like it. Cool. We're getting to see some unique stuff. And Snowflower's Bard as well.
A very good poke coming in from KT this game with Lux and Lucian. Nice ability to siege these turrets in a 4-1 split. Meanwhile, a lot of burst damage from Afreeca.
That's right. We'll see if the Afreeca Freaks can get a win in their first game with their new sponsor, or if KT Rolster, the team everyone's talking about right now within the Korean scene, can prove their strength. Let's get into game number 1 and find out. Would you want to rule the world, Monte Cristo?
I already rule the world of esports, Noah.
But what about the whole world? I'll rule that part. I'll take that part.
Great.
No worries.
Now we have to watch Street Sharks on TV again.
I don't like Street Sharks.
The Street Sharks movie.
I just want to bring the people that made that to justice. That's my platform right there. I don't like Street Sharks. It just scarred me emotionally as a child. Yeah. It didn't have the deep philosophical stretch that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had, you know?
Can you bring Dino Riders back at least?
Yeah, Dino Riders was awesome. But let's talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for a second. This is a good chance, because the thing about Turtles is that it had a deeply philosophical angle to it. Let's look at Krang for a second, right? From Dimension X, right? The brain in the big robot body. It really symbolizes growing up, right? Because sometimes as an adult, you feel like a brain from another dimension trapped in the body of a large man. You don't really know what to do with it. You want to, it makes.
Noah, this is not a counseling session for you.
You're expected to take over the world, but you just want to make friends with, like Bebop and Rocksteady. Sometimes Baxter Stockman, but that's just how it is.
And also, Robotic Samurai.
Well, I mean, Shredder's kind of like your puppet, really. I mean, Krang was the guy in charge, but I'm just saying, Street Sharks had none of that.
I mean, this is a very interesting Freudian projection we have going on here, Noah. That's all I have to say about this.
I think it's fairly obvious that this was the original intent of Eastman and Laird, when they penned the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics in the late 80s.
All right, well, I look forward to more of your complex emotional theories.
I'm working on a 2-hour presentation that I'll give it some university, no doubt. I've been entertaining, MIT, Yale. I've gotten some offers. I'm still shopping around.
MIT, really? They're interested in your
Yeah,
your philosophy
they're
lecture.
They're so interested. Because, you know, they're building robots with more emotions these days, and they want to think about it. You know?
Robotic ethics, with
Yeah.
Professor Doa.
Yeah, you know, I mean, somebody's got to, you know, take the torch that Isaac Asimov has offered the world, you know?
I look forward to your first sci-fi short stories then.
Working on it. Well, looks like we're back in game, guys. I didn't even notice there was a pause.
I believe you.
So a pretty safe start by both of these teams. No crazy strats, but it's all about what Fly can do on this Lux. I'm really curious to see if he's just going to get destroyed or if he's actually got something good planned here.
Well, he has Cleanse, but
Good start.
I mean, Lux has very low HP, and trying to play Lux against Lissandra and LeBlanc is bold, to say the least. That is, there are a lot of ways a Lux can die in that particular situation.
See, this is all part of the Hachani effect, right? He's like, we got to prove that we're like so good, guys, so you pick Lux.
They do
I'll
have
pick
Shen.
Thresh.
They do have Shen.
Hey, at least when he charges into a brush, he'll be taunting whoever he meets.
That's true.
He's got that going for him.
It's true.
That's not going to get annoying at all. Oh, boy.
I like how Lux's laugh is equally annoying in Korean and in English.
It's true. Usually you've got a difference between regions, but Lux is pretty universal. Yeah.
All right, lane swap is going to be coming through. We'll see
Ooh.
KT transition into that top side.
It's
And
that Thunderlords, man.
yes.
Jeez.
Well, I mean, follow-up damage from Lux if she does hit her Lucent Singularity with Thunderlords, and you get the proc from your passive too on your auto, so it could be not insignificant. And it's time for Korean Lissandra.
She's back. Oh yeah.
Now she has blue buff for even more spam. Chani,
Oh.
we're gonna be saying hi to
Doing, buddy.
Afreeca Freaks as they start jungling on their weak side.
A very obvious ninja, as we know Shen is wont to be.
He's a samurai here.
Oh, you're right. All right. And you love this Bard skin, don't you? Do you? No, that was Papa Smith.
I was like, I don't remember ever saying anything about this Bard skin.
He does. He loves this Bard skin.
He loves the Snow Day Bard skin.
He does.
What's so great about it?
Well, he says, and I know he's listening right now, so anything I say is absolutely what he said, and you can't question it. But he says that the W, the healing little thing,
Package?
healing package, yeah, it's Bard's package. But when the package gets bigger, it's easier to see. So you don't have people grabbing the package before it's ready.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I like his reasoning. I thought it was gonna be like, I like Snow Day stuff.
It's a real game read. And he's from Australia. He doesn't know what snow days are like. What are you talking about? Wow, early fast push from KT. Going to take down this top turret, but they're going to trade right over with the Afreeca Freaks. Look at those freaks. Taking that turret.
Interesting that they're 4-man pushing here instead of Score actually going through and taking the Gromp. But since they did start on the weak side and they weren't punished, it does create a few more issues. Someday there for the solo gold. We'll see what Afreeca does on the bottom side.
So basically, when Bard's W package is ready now, it gets like a little candy cane in the cup of hot cocoa, I would assume.
Okay. I prefer to think of it as my favorite Christmas drink. It's well, maybe you wouldn't put a candy cane in it, but you know, mulled wine. How about some like whiskey in your hot cocoa?
Dude, well, you know I make mulled wine every winter.
Yeah.
I added some rum to it this year. It turned out really well.
Yeah, rubber brandy is high quality in mulled wine.
Yeah, that's great. Drink responsibly. Or
you know, Joe, I don't think you've been drinking responsibly tonight.
Well, okay. Screw that one up. Oh well. Never magical journey. That's. I mean, if you're gonna
That's my
try
new favorite expression, by the way.
I'm trying to call this fight in the mid lane. Don't distract me.
Really, you're just distracting yourself.
No, not at all. That's impossible. Wow, we're just going to keep trading turrets apparently this game.
Yeah, players and teams have gotten so good at kind of pushing top laners off and top players trying to take the safe approach and not getting dove, that you're just going to see a lot of this these days, which is if there's a lane swap, it usually results in this, which is both outer turrets going down on both sides of the map within the first 5 to 7 minutes of the game.
Interesting. Sandra, come on. Tone it down a bit.
Pings now onto the Dragon. The score will be taking a look at that objective pretty quickly here.
Now, Afreeca Freaks were not able to get that top lane turret yet. They'll get it.
Score's having some trouble here, actually, leashing his spiderlings. There we go. Yeah, he needs to be careful. This is really early to try and take a solo dragon. Chani and Someday are going to be helping him out in the end, but he ate a lot of damage. The dragon didn't want to actually attack the spiderlings for a little bit, but they're going to get it very safely. Counterplay, and Score's going to
there we go.
get the final attack off, and Mickey clearing waves right at his turret, and we are going to see a quick Frost Queen's claim onto Fly.
Yeah, finishing that Frost Fang already, and he will be going for that. And I think this is really cool that you have mid laners that can build this now. Oh, and the Rift Herald actually getting taken by the Freaks.
For the first time in Champion Spring.
Wow. He's like, I wanted to live longer than this. He's going to get it. Going to give it over to Songyun, giving him that buff. Basically a mini Baron buff for one person.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to be very helpful. They're going to try and use it to take a tier 2 because they have the wave pushed up, and here comes Achani.
Checking that bush, just like we know he does. Doing a little bit of damage to Lyra. In fact, Achani's going to try to get away. Ixu over the wall tries to get the stun, but it's enough. First blood for the Afreeca Freaks, and it came from Achani face-checking a bush. Wow.
He hasn't changed at all.
Well, no, everything has stayed exactly the same.
Yeah, and you know, they didn't know about their play onto the Rift Herald, but they also didn't have any vision in that side of the jungle, and the wave was pushed up without knowledge of 3 members of the Freaks. So, bit of a bold play and not going to pay off. So, first blood taken by Ixu on the flash, but again, they're not really able to do much with the Rift Herald. You can't really push the mid lane tier 1 up against Lux with this Kalista LeBlanc combo so early. They have very little siege potential with this composition. The Freaks are pretty much going to have to dive, or they're going to have to burst someone down very quickly, get some picks, because trying to siege with Kalista LeBlanc Lysandra is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Siege potential from KT with Lucian and Lux and their ability to poke from a distance is significantly stronger.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, if you can't siege, your siege comp isn't going to do you a lot of good. So don't they have to do something about the pressure here from, the Freaks?
They still have Fiora here for the split push, and the burst damage once we see the late game arrive and KT actually has a lot of defensive items, the burst from Lysandra and the threat from Lysandra LeBlanc is going to go way, way down, especially when QSS starts to come through. So it's just a waiting game really for KT. There's no rush for them with this composition because there simply isn't a lot of sustained damage on Afreeca. This is a nice push coming through using that Herald buff.
Yeah, no kidding. A lot of damage up to that tier 2. And I gotta say, I feel like this is a strategy we haven't seen for a while. Whoa, meanwhile, duel in the mid lane. Fly nearly takes down Mickey. That was close.
Very, very close on the combo.
And with a little bit more item power, I think that's gonna be a combo that finishes off Mickey pretty quick.
Yeah, I had actually heard of Lux coming back, but I hadn't actually seen it yet. So I know some players. I am seeing it now. You can see how much burst damage that can do.
Yeah, man. Ixu just holding down the mid lane for the moment. Free in Lysandra. And we're waiting for Someday to come alive. You know, obviously, back at Worlds, Someday had a pretty great showing up until he ran into Smeb's Fiora. But before that, Someday had a huge impact in KT's games.
Yeah, especially on Darius. It's probably his most impressive single pick of the World Championship, seeing what he could do with that. But he definitely did struggle against Smeb in that quarterfinal matchup. A little bit underwhelming.
Yep.
Which was a surprise. He came out of that summer season as the regular season MVP, actually beating out Faker right at the end. And playing 13 different champions over that entire season, so just a remarkable amount of diversity. And just couldn't quite cope with the pressure, it seemed like, in the quarterfinals.
That's really what it did seem like it came down to. It's just the emotional instability. And even though Sumday's a bit of a veteran in the league itself, he still isn't the oldest player. He's pretty young overall.
Well, he started playing when he was 16,
yeah.
I believe, professionally. So this was before there were rules about being 17 in place here in Korea. So he started out very, very young and has been now on KT for the entirety of his career and grown as a player into a real carry threat in this last year.
Well, when you think about where he started as this Renekton-only player, I mean, he was a good Renekton, but still he had a big champion pool problem, and just watching him develop into one of the best top laners in Korea has been really fun.
Yeah, it's been. And we see right now just this huge CS advantage. It's been balanced out by the first blood that Ixu grabbed for himself.
Oh, here we go. Whoa, man.
Hello, Thunderlords.
Jeez. Man.
It's just so crazy, the passive Thunderlord's burst combination that Lux can get right there, and you see that power. You land one of those skills, you're landing the rest.
Yep. I mean, and now that he's got the Frost Queen's claim too, he can utilize that slow weight like we talked about earlier to secure that. Someday coming down. Did he actually get that? I think
nope.
he
did got it.
No, okay. It's close. Score a bit low, but he's going to make it back to the turret.
When you have these lane swaps where all of the outer turrets fall so quickly, you end up in these really weird scenarios where it takes forever for the wave to reach the other side of the map, and you see a lot of very back and forth farm swings and gold swings, and a lot of time where the AD carry and the top laner are kind of just milling around, walking around the middle, trying to see if they can do anything at all.
Well, this is such a vastly different style of game than both of the ones we just saw between CJ and SKT.
Well, this is you're going to see a lot of this, Stella. This is pretty standard game for lane swaps at this point in time on 5.24.
Think it'll change when 6.1 hits?
No, probably not very much.
Okay. Dragon's up. KT did grab that first dragon very quickly off the back of some pushing from the Afreeca side, allowing them to get a chance to do that. Looks like the Freaks want their own dragon, and they should be able to get that fairly unopposed unless Fly walks up and tries to steal it, but it doesn't look like he's going to, so one dragon apiece in this game one.
Picking up that very crucial and really only necessary dragon number one. A little bit of a delayed Rod of Ages here onto Ixu. It's going to be quite some time before he actually gets that stacked up due to how far behind he's managed to get when it comes to CS. Just the wave situation. We did see Someday freezing right up there where he is right now very early on after all the turrets went down, so he had a bit of a farm advantage set up for him by bouncing waves from KT.
Nice big CS lead for Someday. Yep. Man, well, Fly has certainly proved that this LeBlanc can, or this Lux rather, can do work. No kills just yet, but the amount of burst damage is going to become a real problem for Freaks later on in the game.
I'm very curious how this Lux is going to itemize, because Lux is a champion that really does need a lot of CDR to output damage because the cooldown on her Lucent Singularity is so long, and over the past year she's been slowly getting buffs. We saw some changes where her E would, instead of the cooldown starting when you actually exploded on the ground, it starts when she casts the ability instead, which really helps, but still, if you don't use her abilities perfectly and get all the damage you can, she's very ineffective in the late game. So it's a very hard champion to use, and also because you have to position so well, you have no movement abilities whatsoever.
Well, there's no, whoa, there we go, Fly trading some damage.
Here's
He
Achani.
gets away, that's right, Achani trying to make something happen, but not quite getting there soon enough. Mickey proving he can do some bursts too.
Yeah, Mickey using his Ignite right there, Fly expending his Cleanse, and having the Shen is pretty clutch right now onto this Lux. You need some form of protection for her. I could see her being used perhaps in a Tom Kench composition too. But
you start firing the laser and then he eats her, and so she's protected while it shoots out. You just have this giant laser flying out of Tom Kench's stomach.
That'd be great. But I think that this is a very much a red side last pick. Before everybody goes around and starts trying to play Lux and solo queue, there are a lot of lane counter picks to her. And she does have trouble versus a variety of assassins because anything that can dash on top of her, it's very hard to hit your Q, and if you miss your Q, you die. So
yep.
Be careful with this one. If you don't have a Shen and you're not last picking it and you know it's going to be a decent matchup, probably not going to be the best pick.
Man, as someone who plays in silver on the Korean server, if this Lux wins, I'm just going to stay off rank for a while.
A wise plan, I have to say.
Bad. Whoa, things get bad for Snowflower. Manages a magical journey right into the Fate's Call from Sangyun. Magical journey. For some reason, if you're not familiar, for some reason the Korean casters always say it like that.
Yep, I don't get it.
I don't get it either. But if you ask them to say,
they won't just say
they won't just say magical journey. They'll go magical journey, and I don't know why. Kind of channeling Tommy Wiseau from The Room in that one.
Oh god.
Oh, hi, Mock.
No one has seen that, by the way, though.
Oh, dude, everyone's seen that. What are you talking about? If you've seen The Room, just tweet at Monty. He'll know. Drift Herald taken for the second time by the Afreeca Freaks. Going to give it over to Lyra this time.
It's really weird they would give it to Lyra, actually.
I know, yeah. Why would you? Give it to the person who'll be in lane the least. Oh, okay. All right.
Not the Lysandra who might be split pushing with TP.
No, that's ridiculous. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, the thing is that if Fly doesn't connect with that snare onto LeBlanc, he's just going to get blown up.
It's tough, and Mickey now is starting to build into Abyssal, so we'll have some more defensive stats to help him against the Lux combo. And we see Fly not actually building any MR yet, so he's starting to lose some of these trades. I'm really curious what a 6-item Lux build from him is going to look like.
Really kind of gearing towards a bit of survivability in terms of maneuverability too. Taking those boots of swiftness rather than the Sork shoes. What do you think about that?
I think you need that maneuverability on Lux. And again, we talked about this in the first game, but with the changes to boots of swiftness, oh wow, Score doing a lot of damage actually.
Yeah, Ixu, no trouble getting away, but still losing a big chunk of health.
The boots of swiftness, you're going to see a lot of them just because they are cheap. They're cheaper than a lot of other boots. There have been nerfs to many of the other boots. And yeah, there are a lot of slows being used in the game right now. Sometimes you have to deal with, like in this game, KT will multiple Frost Queen's claims on one team. See Snowflower is going to be building into that item. Mickey already has it, so it's a lot of slows.
Oh, hello. Over the wall, Someday pops that challenge right away. Can he finish him off? Not quite. So close.
Sometimes you don't want to follow your E, but
yeah.
Coming over the wall right there, a little bit surprising actually, Someday getting the drop on him in his own jungle, and that CS lead continues to open up more and more and more as Someday has been controlling the wave much better.
It's not the type of thing you would have expected to see in Season 5, but you know, now that you just straight up can't buy green wards anymore, you're going to see these situations where somebody just doesn't have vision.
Yeah, and sneaky plays are going to be important. There's a lot more mind games with what you can do with wards these days. It's much more complicated in how you set them up because you have to be perfect and you have to have very clear plans for how you're going to be warding in a game.
I was a bit leery about the changes when I first saw them, but after playing it a bit, I really like it. It's made the games definitely more interesting, in my opinion.
Especially at the professional level where you have active communication and you can really make plans well on the fly.
Well, it really separates the good vision teams from the bad ones, you know?
You mean the great ones?
Well, the good, great, and bad. It separates all of them. Dragon does not want to drink that hot cocoa that was left for him by Snowflower. So KT is going to kill him in response. That cocoa was for you.
Brutal.
I know, right? Really care a lot about that. Second dragon for KT. And thunderous applause by the audience.
Lots of HP stacking coming in through from Someday. Going for the Titanic Hydra, now building into Phage, and it's just about surviving the Afreeca burst. That's the main thing that Someday has to be worried about. once more, the longer this game goes on, the less threatening that burst mages typically get. They're not built for 6-item team fights, really.
Yeah. Well, you kind of use your combo, and if you don't kill a player with it, you're kind of standing around until you have the cooldowns back again. Oh, and Fate's Call. Snowflower backs away here. Songyun in a lot of trouble. Goodbye.
Nice flash from Hachani on the taunt to lock him down. Meanwhile, Ixu, you can see how many problems rather he's having with Someday right now.
Much problems.
Many problem.
Many poke. Many stab. Wow.
Such riposte.
Such challenge. Oh, Mickey doing a bit more damage to Fly.
You know, right by where we live in Koreadoa, there's a building that has this sign on it that says "Very House."
I haven't seen this, really?
I'll show it to you later.
All right, I got to check this out. I love that stuff.
I always look at it like, Very House, wow, such building.
There was one near my old apartment that just said "the best people" on it, and then underneath it said "who will be the best person today." I'm like, it's a good question. Building, I don't know. I don't know. What's the criteria?
Way to promote good citizenship, Korean signs.
I know. Sit back and just take a listen. Listen to the
dulcet tones of Korean Lysandra.
That's right. The mellow sounds.
Somebody's gonna make a 10-hour YouTube move of that someday.
I know, right? You know, you've got your like ocean sounds for meditation. You can have this too.
And like once every 10 minutes, it's gonna be you doing it.
I know, right? Just gotta sneak that in there.
Mix it up.
Yeah, that's right. Picture like GBM sitting in like a lotus pose with that playing in his headset. Score found out by that ward he was standing in. And it just seems, I feel like the game has evolved to this very confused state right now, where both teams, they want to make something happen, but they're just not quite sure how to do it.
Well, you can't really make anything happen. That's the problem. Again, these lane swaps create these very bizarre scenarios where both teams are effectively in a battle of chipping the mid lane turret and then occasionally farming. But considering everybody's TP is always up, after the first like 5 or 6 minutes of the game, and there are very few plays that can be made, it gets complicated. Someday has nothing to do right now, so he's going to stand in the mid lane and try and push waves.
Why not? Ixu.
Are you ready for the exact opposite thing to happen now, Doa, where Lysandra doesn't have anything to do?
I'm ready. She's coming up to mid right now.
I know.
All right. Well, I mean, KT could try to collapse onto Ixu, maybe. No.
Oh, nice!
Oh, goodbye! Oh, the culling, the cocoon helped them finish him off. Finally, a kill for KT. Someday TP's in. They're going to try to go after Ixu here. Ixu locking him down for the moment. Hachani with a nice taunt. Can they get more damage done? Not quite. Meanwhile, cocoon onto Snowflower, but again, no follow-up damage, but that's going to let KT at least do a lot of damage. Maybe take this mid lane turret. Yeah, looks like they've got it.
And that's the power of this Lysandra Lux combo.
Yeah.
You have such range on your abilities and an ability to just burst from a very long distance. They're going in again.
Songyun in a bit of trouble. KT being aggressive now. Lyra very, very low. Score does not make, or it almost makes it out. Songyun taken down already. Oh, Someday dies to the turret, but KT's not done yet. Hachani helping Arrow pick up a kill there. Ixu with another one in response before Score finishes him off. All in all, a win, quote unquote, for KT, I suppose.
Well, they got a couple.
3.
Yeah, they got a couple more kills. They put some damage down on the tower. Now it's up to them to hold this very low HP mid turret, and it definitely will be a win for KT Rolster. Arrow is peeled off over into the top lane to take care of this very large wave that has been a long time developing. Looks like that may be it for mid. Nope, just kidding.
Haha. I thought you were an analyst. Oh, wait. Oh. You are an analyst. You knew that tower was going to go down. Good job.
Thanks.
That's why we keep you around. All right, let's watch the replay of that fight. Let's see Mickey get caught here. Nice. Oh, the calling too. Cocoon from the side. Beautiful.
Straight through the clone also. Just nothing they could really do.
Yeah.
He tried to absorb as much damage as possible, but that route, it's a very long route.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they layered the CC really well. Score and fly, that is. Not bad.
So, Dragon.
Yeah. Looks like Titanic Hydra picked up by Someday.
Yeah, it's the first time to be completed.
Yep.
Now it's hammer time.
All right. Please, Hammer, don't hurt him. No. he'll hurt him. Third dragon maybe for KT. Looks like it will be. And KT slowly but surely pulling farther and farther ahead. It's not a big gold lead, but the leads are pretty strong in other places. They've got a lot of map control. They've got the dragon advantage.
And this is where the QSS really starts.
Oh,
okay.
Ixu gets out on that E, but still very low. Fly wanted to try to come up and maybe take a shot at him with his R, but the Afreeca Freaks were there to help out. KT, though, they know Ixu's low. They can chase a bit here. Snowflower slowed down.
Goodbye.
Stunned. There it is. The damage comes in. Man, you cannot get caught. You can't get caught or you're just dead.
Well, especially when you decide to complete Frost Queen's Claim first and have 0 tanky stats. That's all on Snowflower. You shouldn't be in a position like that on Bard.
Yeah. Frost Queen's Claim is good, but maybe in this case you want to be able to survive that burst.
Well, you could pop it earlier, too, to get the slowdown you need to escape, right?
It's true, too. Cocoon onto Mickey. They're lucky they didn't have another Lux combo.
But basically, Ixu can't stop the Fiora split push right now. KT has bought enough time that their 4-1 split can really get going. They can make picks with the Cocoon root combo very efficiently, and they need to send somebody to deal with Ixu, but Mickey can't go. He doesn't have TP. So it's going to be really hard for Afreeca to win at this stage. It's a small gold lead, but it's just the pressure advantage is absolutely enormous for KT now.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it, isn't it? It's not about the gold. It's just about how KT controls the vast majority of Summoner's Rift right now. They've been warding very well, and that's going to keep forcing the Freaks into more and more dangerous situations. Mickey doesn't get the blue buff. He may get killed. Oh, wow, they get him. Challenge accepted.
Outside that one face check, though, Hachani's taunt flashes have been really good at locking down these targets and allowing the chain CC from other sources.
Oh, another turret taken down by KT, and it seems like the snowball's really begun at this point. They're starting to really run away with this one.
Already now onto this inhibitor turret, and they've got enough tankiness that those Spray Seeker's not really going to do a whole lot. Fly lets loose with some spooky ghosts.
Yep. And that's an inhibitor taken down by KT.
Snowflower not going to try and engage there with his ultimate with Mickey still down, so KT just smoothly rolling to the first inhib kill of the game before Baron's even taken.
Well, they've been doing a really good job of taking these small advantages over time and gradually rolling them into this big lead.
Yeah, well, it's just good patience. I think they knew what they had to do in this game, and as long as Someday got a huge advantage and they kept trying to compound his CS lead, even if he doesn't get a huge advantage, he still is going to be a late-game Fiora. And one of the reasons why we saw the Fiora bans in the first set of games is that there's pretty much no champion that at 30 minutes is going to be able to stop a Fiora if they've been farming or doing approximately evenly. Yeah. The split push is way too strong.
Certainly seems that way. Arrow getting all those kills certainly helps too.
Yeah, Arrow's been doing very well. Now has his Mercurial Scimitar.
I got the rapid fire cannon too. I mean, that's just going to help them siege even better.
So Ixu and Someday just go head to head for a little bit longer.
Well, Someday not wanting to fight that one.
Didn't have enough vision. They don't have any wards there. So.
A little bit too dangerous. Take notes, solo queue players.
Don't fight without wards.
If there's not vision, probably don't fight the guy that's hanging out, because he's probably not the only one around.
And odds are his friends can collapse faster than your friends can if you're on his side of the map.
Yep. Time for the bottom lane. And we'll see if there's anything the Freaks can do to stop this. That's a lot of spears. Whoa. Oh, all right, Repulse comes in. KT just forcing them off the turret. And it just seems like there's nothing that Afreeca can do right now.
Yeah, they just keep on rolling forward towards another inhibitor.
Yep, slow but steady. Nice binding. A little bit of damage comes in from Mickey. Someday needs to be careful. Getting haunted by some spooky ghosts, but he ain't afraid of no ghosts.
He is. He walked away after getting hit by them.
He wasn't that afraid. It was kind of a walk. Not a strut. Misfortune has that covered, but, you know.
He was sufficiently afraid to back off, Doa.
Well, fine. Thanks for ruining it.
Good.
He afraid of that ghost. There. He afraid of that ghost. I changed it so that it fit the situation. You're welcome.
If only we had a ghost gangplank in the game, too.
I know, right? Wouldn't that be nice?
Are they remaking Ghostbusters?
I think it's just like a sequel.
Oh, God.
What you don't want yet another sequel for another 20-plus-year-old franchise?
No, I really don't.
30-plus-year-old franchise?
I just want new movies. Is that so wrong?
No, but will anyone fund them? Unlikely. Just like KT, the Hollywood movie industry does not want to take any chances.
They have been playing pretty far back, but
yep.
It's working, right?
So is KT.
They have all the money in this game, so I guess they are like Hollywood.
They do. Got all the money. You know, once in a while they throw something in there you don't expect. That's a Lux pick, but in the end it's just something you liked from a long time ago that you're just happy to see again. It's a nostalgia really more than anything. Yeah, I think objectively you can say KT's play this game is just a metaphor for the U.S. film industry.
That makes me sad.
I thought you were a KT fan. That's why you're sad.
Well, thanks for ruining that for me too, Doa.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for.
Four dragons. Yeah, it's KT.
Yeah.
Very, very methodical.
I would say so.
We talked about there not being a lot of 5th dragons in this preseason patch on 524.
Boy, were we wrong.
But if you want to play a long enough game, you can get 5 dragons.
Well, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be KT or Jinair, but KT this time.
So completely ignoring this Baron, instead just focusing entirely on dragon stacks this game.
Yeah. Well, at least Mickey now with that Zhonya's Hourglass doesn't need to worry about being completely blown up by Fly. Well, Score still got the blue buff there.
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. He didn't even smite that either. All he had to do was back away. Oh. Interesting attempt.
Well, the inhibitor back up right now. Now Ping's going on to the Baron, because naturally you want to go for the Baron right after the inhibitor has come back up.
Yeah, it's the safest. Wait a minute. No, it's not. Would have been better to do that like 3 minutes ago. Oh, well.
They still have to clear out a wave, so perhaps they can get the work done. They will take the vision. Looks like they just want to make a pick right now instead. Try and use the burst damage from Lux.
I mean, they really can't make a pick on Mickey with the Zhonyas. So they have to do it on someone else.
True. Very true. And there are the ghosts, so instrumental in the vision control game these days.
Yep.
Desperately needing a nerf.
Nah, I don't think so. Let's stick with it. All right, they've resorted to just standing in place and not moving at all.
Perhaps they think Afreeca are made up of entirely T-Rexes.
That's true. It's a Jurassic Park philosophy. If you don't move, they can't see you. I mean, it works for Teemo.
That's actually true. Weird.
Yeah.
I guess everyone in League of Legends besides Teemo is a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Well, maybe that's what Teemo's passive actually is. He doesn't actually become invisible. He just makes everyone on the other team a T-Rex.
I think we've discovered it. We've cracked the code, Doa.
We need like an Alan Grant Teemo skin or something now, you know? It could work. You could put down raptor eggs. It works so well. I think it's fine. Oh, and now KT goes for Baron. Can they do it fast enough, though?
All the ghosts are coming through.
I was going to say, Afreeca coming in. They have got a bigger ghost army than Aragorn did in the end of Lord of the Rings. But meanwhile, Someday taking some turret damage, waiting for that ult to go away from Ixu. Wow, Someday really going crazy. There's the Zonias. Someday, I don't know, man. It's a Johnny. Thanks for showing up, man. Good to see ya. Meanwhile, KT in trouble in a 4v3. Score trying to back away, but this is the opportunity that Afreeca was looking for. Score taken down, and that could not really have gone much worse, could it have?
Wow, Someday actually really misplaying that around the Lissandra ult and the Zonia's Hourglass. Mickey's still here. He's going to die eventually.
Oh, wow, nice moves. Not good enough. Oh! Whoa! Double kill from the Lux ult. And this may make this Baron hard to do. Songyun and Lyra still trying it. I think they got to pull back. Fly on the run, getting filled with spears, but arrows right here to turn it around onto Songyun. Lyra still chasing that Lux, but now they're in bit trouble. Not the greatest flash I've ever seen from Fly there. And not able to lock down Lyra. Maybe Arrow can finish him off. Getting close, probably can. Yep, one more double tap will do it.
And now they can push forward. So what turned out, started as a disaster right there, was actually quickly saved by Arrow's dueling abilities on this Lucian. So that was pretty much all Arrow that fixed that problem. Fly letting loose with the final spark in the Baron pit to get one. And Ixu,
Oh, wow, yeah, don't run into a Lucian like that. That was hilarious. Man, it's hard to do Baron when you have lost any amount of health when there's a Lux on the other side.
and now they're going to go for it again. Someday just waltzes, not blade waltzes, he doesn't have that ability anymore on Fiora, but waltzes straight into the Baron pit, not even TPing down, and we're going to see the blue trinkets come in, but it's going to be too late. Fly still low, but this should be an easy secure.
Yeah, they've got this one. And Afreeca Freaks forced to fall back and defend their base.
Yeah, Songyun just not there, and
Wow, goodbye Krugs.
Krugs and minion wave.
Man, this poor Krugs had no idea what was coming. Well, I'm going to try to push the lane up a little bit. Dragon in 30 seconds, and if KT can turn this Baron buff into a 5th Dragon stack, they should be able to end it pretty quick.
Somebody actually got rid of his Titanic Hydra for a Ravenous Hydra. That's interesting.
Nice. Swap him at any time, I suppose, but
Yeah.
it is a bit interesting.
Opting for a bit more damage here.
Yeah, a bit more effectiveness in team buys. Oh, Cocoon cleansed away by Songyun. Base of the mountain used, I believe, by Snowflower.
Arrow actually ended up with that blue buff
Oh, yeah.
in the end. And now here comes the attempt for Dragon number 5.
Yep. Freaks need to stop this one if they want to have any chance of winning this game. It's pretty close. Dragon getting low. Lyra trying to come in and smite it away, but KT is backed off. Whoa, Mickey goes in the back lines. Could be in trouble here. Freaks back away. They do take out Mickey. KT pushed back by Snowflower, but this is all KT right now. Double kill for Arrow. They'll get the Dragon. Lyra on the run. Challenge completed by Someday. And Ixu, the last man standing. They're going to get the Dragon, and that should be the game with the ace.
That was a beautiful team fight by KT, especially that chase down there with the combination between Someday and Hachani to pick up those final field kills. Everyone going back over the Dragon Pit, and now KT, Baron empowered, 5 Dragon stacks, are going to win their first game of Champion Spring.
That was a long one, but a resounding victory in the end for KT Rolster, a celebratory Lux ult. That's it, GG.
It's going to be our first Lux win in a very long time, Noah. But
probably since Frozen did it on IM.
yeah, it was a very long time ago. That was before we even changed the system back in 2014. Should have been IM number 2's game against Samsung Blue in the group stage. I think it was the last time we saw a Lux win.
Wow. Well, we saw one here today, and I wonder if this Lux pick is going to make a bit of a comeback. It's a fun champion to watch, so...
It's really a specialty pick. Maybe on red side occasionally. I think that we did see the strength of it there, but it's very, very situational.
You are kind of either a Lux player or you're not a Lux player.
And you're